Hey guys, on this week's show we're going to be talking about my two favorite trucks, and they couldn't be more different. So here we have the TRX4 Sport. On this side we have a homemade truck. I've built this from the ground up. I had a couple of spare parts in one of my boxes and I thought, let's throw them together and let's see what I can make out of this. And at that time I didn't have a Fusion yet. So basically what I did, I wanted a really slow crawl and I bought a reduction box, a 1 to 5 reduction box, and put it onto a 21 turn motor. So let's begin with the TRX4 Sport. This is a stripped version. The battery tray is out, and let me just get it a little bit closer to the camera. You can see that I have changed the shocks at the back, giving me a complete different setup. I have articulation but not a lot of movement in them. Also, the weight of the truck pushes the springs right down to the limit, same as in the front. The pennant is in here, so I don't have a lot of droop, but I still have articulation in the front. My battery and obviously the winch in front gives me a little bit of extra weight. And coming to the Fusion, it basically just fits in here, standard pinion in there, saving myself some space because I don't have an ESC anymore. So direct connection to the battery, and that is basically it. So the Fusion can be run with a standard pinion from the TRX4. You don't really need to change it to get a lower speed, or maybe you can change it to get a higher speed, but I am actually quite happy with the high speed on this truck. So basically everything here is still TRX4 Sport. I have just changed a few things, and plus I've put these skid rails on where the body actually connects. And coming to my homemade truck, I got to kind of pan in here so you can see what's going on. Underneath here, quickly just remove that battery tray to show. This is ancient. I think this motor is about 18 years old. The reduction box, have no idea. I can't even tell you where it's from or where I bought it from. But you get a 4-in-1, I think, from RC 4-wheel drive. There's a 4-in-1 reduction box, which is probably half the size of this, but that will probably do quite a good job. And also your pinion and your output shaft is a standard output shaft, not this 8mm sized output shaft that you have on this system. And I need quite a big prop shaft system to connect to my transfer case over there, because this is all massive. So you can't actually I think this is a 6 or 8mm shaft that comes out of this reduction box. It's quite an old reduction box, so I had to buy myself this prop shaft and also customize the prop shaft to fit into the truck. So let's take these two out on the trail and let's see how different the Fusion 2-in-1, the Fusion 1800 kV 2-in-1 is to my 5-to-1 reduction box sitting on the 21 turn motor. Okay, let me talk you through this truck. First we're going to do the high speed. That's it. Because of the reduction box, there is not a lot of high speed in this truck, but we have got a super slow crawl in this truck because of that reduction box. So I don't have an FOC in this system, so I need to now slowly throttle up as it starts going over the obstacle. I am pushing, the truck moved, but it stopped, so I have to throttle up about 1mm and try and keep that crawl as slow as possible. Now I'm throttling off as it starts going over to keep that slow crawl going, and trying to find that mix between a slow crawl and stopping. Now it stopped again because it just didn't balance the torque. It stopped again because I'm steering too much. If I just keep it crawling a little bit faster, then it does seem to do quite a good job. Now what I've noticed is my steering, there we go, my steering sometimes gets stuck, not in terms of mechanically, but the servo just stops moving. Okay, let me see if I can get this as slow as possible through here. So the reduction box gives me a nice slow crawl, but I am constantly controlling it. As you can see, it's stopped now. I'm throttling up a little bit. That is quite a lot now. Moved my finger about 2 centimeters there. A little left turn, there we go. Now I slow it down again, throttling back down to keep that slow crawl going, and it stopped. So I am quite busy on the throttle on this truck. Let's back that up so we can get that in line. There we go, a little bit of speed there. I'm about half throttle at the moment. Let's throttle it up all the way. There we go. There's enough wheel speed in it, let's put it that way, although it is slow. The wheel speed on the actual obstacle is enough. So let's try and do this as slow as possible, throttling up and then immediately throttling down again. There we go. Now we've got a very nice slow crawl. A little bit of a left turn, and she stopped, throttling it up a bit more. Come on, more of a left turn. We'll speed it up a bit. There we go. Try and keep that crawl super slow. There we go. Going off the throttle again. Going to the obstacle, climbing the obstacle. At full turn, I need to throttle up now. Try and get that as slow as I can. And I need to reverse. The reduction box does allow me to get that done. So if I now start reversing slowly, and now my servo stopped again. Oh Jesus. Let me smack that servo back into its position. So now I've come to the point where I'm too high up and I need to reverse. With the reduction box, I can reverse as slow as possible, and keeping that front tire on the rock, tapping it down just as slow, touch more, there we go, and slowly climbing again, which with the reduction box is possible, whereby if I don't have the reduction box in, it just gets a little bit too twitchy and the truck will slide off the rock with the front tire. It won't stay on the obstacle with the front tire. Okay, coming to the obstacle, slowing right down. Now at this point, the Fusion 1800 is a little bit faster comparing to the reduction box. I can really creep this as slow as I want. Now I can't go this slow with the Fusion. The Fusion is a little bit faster under load like this, under downhill, on hill descent load, than the reduction box. The reduction box does a better job. Let me slide that tire down into the corner, straighten my wheels so that I don't get off balance with my truck, and seriously slow crawl my truck through this obstacle. Now that is definitely slower than the Fusion. Look how slow those tires are turning. Now come to the obstacle, stops again, touching it, there we go. Oh, sliding a bit, but those tires are turning super slow. Okay, let's get the Blazer down here and let's see in comparison how the Fusion behaves. Yeah, and that is a lot faster than the reduction box. And let me get myself into the position here and start the slow crawl. Now obviously with the FOC, I'm just touching the accelerator or the throttle and I'm letting the truck do the rest. So this is obviously a lot easier. I am just waiting for the truck to climb through, and I know I don't have to throttle up or down. I don't have to worry about that. Back it up. And let's climb into this as slow as we can. I'm slowing it down now. The truck obviously finds grip in all positions. Now this truck is sitting as low as possible. I've got Proline trenches on, weighted wheels. My rear suspension sits lower than the front suspension, so that in a hill climb it can't articulate too much. I need to do a bit of a left turn. Let me speed that up. Here we go. I caught it. And let's climb as slow as possible through this piece. Trying to find a balance between the left and the right side. Not that I fall and slip into one. Okay, speeding it up a bit. And now slowing it down again so I can get my front tire on to that rock and exactly in the position I want. Not driving too fast, slipping past it or going in too early. Exactly where I wanted to climb. That's the beauty about the Fusion. I do have another Fusion which is not a 2-in-1 system in my comp truck, and it has a slightly faster crawl than this, and the high speed is also, the truck is a very slow truck. So basically, if you don't want to spend all that money, you could get a reduction box and drop it into your truck, but I think this is a better choice. Let's speed that up a little bit. Now I am side hilling quite steep right now. You straighten those wheels and now turn in. There we go, she's coming back. It is quite on the limit there, so you don't want to do that too fast. Alright, now let's do the downhill, and this is where the reduction box is a little bit slower than the Fusion. So if I tap this, you can see already the truck is moving quite fast because the weight is pulling the truck down. So the reduction box is definitely slower on the downhill. So let me just touch that throttle, see if I can do it as slow as possible. The truck is definitely moving at a faster rate. Now it's getting a little bit of pressure and it is pushing the output up. That's why it slows down, but I'm not moving my finger. That's the bonus part. The great thing is, even if you're going on downhill and the truck does that slip, you don't have to throttle off, because my normal reaction is immediately to throttle off. But I'm so sure of this that I can actually just stay on, let the truck slide through the downhill section, and I know it's going to catch itself once it ups the output again. So we have these fast slides, there we have one, and immediately she slows down and I'm not moving my finger at all. Let's wait for her to drop over this section. Just steering, not moving my finger. My throttle is staying in the same position. Now she starts to go down, she'll speed up and then she catches herself again. The output changes and it's pushing that truck over the obstacle. I just basically took the 21 turn out and swapped out the motors. That was all it is. Everything else is still stock. Okay, I guess this kind of proves it. That if you don't want to spend a lot of money, get a reduction box. I think they're around 30 euros, or just under $30. Or you save the money and get yourself a Fusion, either the 1800 or the 2300. I think those two in my head are the two to get. If you want to just do super slow crawling, you can also get the cheaper one, the 1200. I think it's a $10 or €10 difference between the 1200 and the 1800. So I think spend that at the €10 or $10 and get the 1800. You get a bit more speed out of it, a bit more wheel speed out of it, and the fun is basically the same. Obviously you have more fun with a bit more speed. Okay guys, that's it for me for this week. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.